at him.
The film begins with text stating that 14 years ago, approximately 98% of animals were wiped out by a fungal epidemic, and 12 years ago, the effects of the animal deaths caused the food chain to collapse. This led to civil war between starving humans. 11 years ago, famine began to sweep across the globe, and the only valuable asset for survival was agricultural land. The scene then shows a group of thieves trying to break into the Haley family's farmland. But the gang of thieves does not know that Haley is a former soldier. Not only that, Haley has also trained and educated her children to be ready to protect their assets, so that the group of robbers are killed one by one. The Haley family is a marriage between a widow and a widower who both have children. However, despite their differences in skin color, they remain united and harmonious in caring for one another. Every day, they divide tasks and practice military skills to protect their 40-hectare plantation. Even to communicate with other farmers, the Haleys only use radios because modern cell phones are no longer usable. Their home is also fully equipped with weapons, and all of which are the result of Haley's time in the military. While listening to the radio, Haley heard news from a fellow farmer who said that the gang of thieves was getting more and more violent, even going so far as to kill farmers' families without leaving a trace. However, her friend Augusta told Haley and her family to stay calm because the military would help them with security. The next day, Haley's first child named Emanuel was tasked with picking up some farm supplies at Augusta's house. Emanuel drove his all-terrain vehicle there and brought some weapons with him for protection. Meanwhile, inside the house, Haley again gets the news that the thieves have finished off and taken possession of a peasant family elsewhere. Of course, the news made Haley even more upset and worried about her family. On the other hand, after Emanuel took some items, he immediately left the place, but before arriving home, he took the time to bathe in the river. While enjoying his swim, he accidentally saw a beautiful girl who was also bathing. Unfortunately, she lived in a place guarded by armed troops, which made it impossible for Emanuel to get closer to her. In short, upon arriving home, Emanuel was scolded by Haley's husband named Galen because Emanuel arrived home late at night and was not on time as usual. The woman's presence made Emanuel's mind confused to the point that he couldn't sleep, and the next day he was determined to unplug the closed-circuit television cable and also the electric cable in order to find and meet Dawn. However, when he arrived at the river where he had been swimming yesterday, he did not see her at all. That night, Haley went to Emanuel's room to order him to accompany Galen the next day to find additional agricultural supplies for their family. In short, the next day, Emanuel, Galen, and Danis entered a government facility to look for the items they needed. And when they entered one of the rooms, they were shocked to see many human corpses hanging upside down. Not long after, two people in military uniforms and two farmers appeared. The two soldiers claimed that they had been assigned by the government to support the local agricultural network. However, Galen did not believe them and immediately shot them. Unfortunately, when Danis returned to check the area, she was shot by one of the thieves, leaving her helpless. Luckily, Danis was brought home in time and immediately treated for her gunshot wound. After the incident, Haley immediately reported it to Augusta, but strangely, she did not answer Haley's phone call. Meanwhile, Emanuel was still thinking about the woman he saw in the river earlier, rather than worrying about his family's fate after the incident. Suddenly, Emanuel heard gunshots coming from the forest, which made him immediately search for the source of the sound. But as he was searching, he accidentally found Dawn with her arm and head bleeding. The next day, Haley warned her children to always be vigilant and not to hesitate to kill anyone who tried to enter their area, because now the robbers were camouflaged in military uniforms. After the conversation ended, Emanuel secretly tied Dawn up in the barn. It was unclear why he did this without his family's knowledge. Emanuel then gives Dawn a drink while trying to treat the cut on her arm. Meanwhile, Haley, who is busy patrolling, tries to contact Emanuel to monitor the area. However, Haley is annoyed that there is no answer from Emanuel because he is currently busy sewing the wound on Dawn's hand.
Stop, stop, stop! Have you even done this before?
Yes, I have. Okay, I'm putting the needle down.
During dinner, they talked again about the robbers who were becoming more brutal by the day. Haley also reprimanded Emanuel again because he had been difficult to control lately. After finishing dinner, Emanuel began telling Dawn that his mother often scolded him. And after that, Dawn finally told that at the moment she does not know where her family is, whether they are alive or dead. So actually that night Dawn did intend to go to Emanuel's family because she was Augusta's niece. Dawn then asked Emanuel to lend her his radio so she could contact her family to see if anyone was still alive. But Emanuel didn't dare take Dawn to the monitoring room. For that reason, he tried to change the conversation to the first time he saw Dawn at the river, and coincidentally Dawn also often went to the river because she wanted to see Emanuel. And from here, the two of them started to get closer. In short, morning came, and once again Haley was annoyed when she couldn't find Emanuel in his room, even though it was still early and he was usually still asleep. It turned out that Emanuel was busy watching Dawn dance and listening to music, but while they were dancing, Haley caught them. Haley immediately dragged Dawn out to interrogate her, asking who Dawn was, where she was from, and threatening to shoot her if she lied. Dawn replied that she was a medical worker sent by the government along with the military and agricultural experts. However, while she was on duty, a group of robbers attacked their base, and she was taken captive by the robbers. Dawn also admitted that she was Augusta's niece. Upon hearing this, Haley decided not to kill her. After that, Emanuel tried to contact Augusta again, but unfortunately, Augusta did not answer the call. Emanuel immediately reported to his mother that Augusta could not be reached. However, Haley, who was angry, warned him not to worry too much about Augusta because she was also a former Marine.
A fucking Marine. She can handle herself.
Then let me go find her.
We're down Dennis already. We're not splitting.
In the end, because he was annoyed with his mother, Emanuel and Dawn secretly went to the camp where Dawn came from. Meanwhile, Haley decided to go alone to Augusta's place to check what happened there, and for that, she left the children in the house with Galen. When Galen was in the monitor room, he saw one of the closed-circuit television cables experiencing an error. He quickly went to check it without realizing that it turned out that the closed-circuit television cable had previously been removed by Emanuel to look for Dawn in the river. On the other hand, Haley had just arrived at Augusta's house, but unfortunately, she didn't see anyone there. Then Haley tried to enter one of the warehouses, and there she saw a lot of bloodstains and human corpses that had been put into barrels. Elsewhere, Emanuel and Dawn began boarding the old bus, and once inside, Dawn finally confessed that she had brought Emanuel because she was ordered to do so by the robbers who had killed her family. She also revealed that the robbers had taken Augusta hostage. And yes, by taking each member of the farmer's family hostage, the robbers could easily take over the farmland. On the other hand, when Haley was looking for items that could be used in that place, one of the robbers suddenly appeared and knocked her unconscious. Meanwhile, at home, while Galen was checking the surroundings, he saw that one of the fences had been broken into. However, without him realizing it, one of the robbers suddenly appeared and immediately knocked him unconscious. In the end, Haley's family was defeated one by one, and now they were heading to Haley's house to get what they needed. Meanwhile, Rain, realizing the robbers had entered the field, immediately prepared her weapon and contacted Galen. Unfortunately, Galen was currently unable to do anything because both of his hands had been nailed by the robbers. In short, the two robbers tried to eat Galen alive. Fortunately, Galen soon managed to pull out the nails that were stuck in his hands and then killed them both. On the other hand, when Haley regained consciousness, she found herself tied up and locked in a room where she discovered Augusta had already been tied up. Soon after, the leader of the band of robbers, who was a cannibal, appeared and ordered his men to kill Augusta for food. Meanwhile, at home, Rain was already prepared with her weapons. She immediately started shooting them one by one, but unfortunately, their numbers were too great, leaving her increasingly cornered.
Come in.
Meanwhile, Dawn and Emanuel think Augusta is still alive, and therefore Emanuel will try to save her, while Dawn will remain at Augusta's house with Augusta's children. Meanwhile, it is now Haley's turn to be executed by them, but Haley, who does not give up so easily, then puts up resistance and shoots the leader of the group.
Wait!
Back at home, Galen had finally managed to survive their attack, and afterwards he told Rain and Cookie to hide in the basement because he was going to finish off the robbers who were still roaming around their yard. Galen then turned off all the lights in his house, and an epic shootout ensued. Meanwhile, Haley, who had successfully defeated the robbers, was suddenly met by Emanuel, who had accidentally found him. Now they must unite to fight and protect their assets from the robbers' gang. Once they managed to escape, Emanuel informed Dawn that Augusta was dead. Hearing this, Dawn could only cry, and feeling sorry for her, Haley invited Dawn and Augusta's children to join her in surviving. On the other hand, Galen, who was tired and had lost a lot of blood, suddenly fainted, and when he came to, he asked Rain to continue the battle because the robbers were currently trying to burn down their house. Meanwhile, Haley and the others were still on their way home, but unfortunately their presence was discovered by the robbers, which ultimately led to a shootout.
Come on.
Back at the house, it appeared that several robbers had already broken in, and Rain was powerless to do anything as the robbers began taking their belongings. Then one of them forced Rain to open a secret room containing dozens of long-barreled weapons and some gardening seeds. Fortunately, when one of the robbers tried to open the lock, Galen suddenly appeared and shot him, and in the end they managed to kill all the robbers in the room. In short, after killing all the robbers nearby, Emanuel and Dawn managed to get into the house. Dawn, who was a medical professional, immediately treated Galen's wounds, and once everything was safe, Emanuel went back outside to look for his mother. Meanwhile, Haley was fighting 3 robbers who had her cornered. Luckily, Emanuel arrived just in time and managed to save his mother. At the end of the film, we are shown the happy family life of Haley. Even Dawn and the children of Augusta are living there, and the film comes to an end.